Hey there, goblins. Welcome to another episode of Goblin Salvage Rites. Today, we're talking about Battle Cry yet again. My name's Robert.
I'm Eric.
And we're talking about player options today.
In Battle Cry.
Player options in Battle Cry.
It's not for the meek.
It's not for the soulless.
No, this is balls deep in a squealing hog. Is that what the kids say these days?
You can be a sneaky sneaker. Or you could be
a poundy pounder.
A poundy pounder.
Mm-hmm.
Battle Cry has made it all possible.
You can be a vehicular vehicle.
I totally just forgot. I have the book.
You do?
But it's not on the table.
Okay. I've got mine, but it's at home.
Damn.
All right.
That doesn't matter.
This is a short video today, you guys.
I got the PDF, yeah.
I think we're good. I think we'll manage.
Absolutely.
Somehow we'll manage.
Absolutely. So yeah, today we're talking about Battle Cry.
All right. First, we got to talk about that thing on your head. What's going on here?
Yeah, so I just got back from the Canterbury Ren Fair, and it was like 90 fucking degrees.
Yeah.
So my Ren Fair character is largely based off of my pirate character.
He must have had a rough time in high school because it looks like your kilt got pantsed in reverse.
Exactly. For the audio listeners, I'm wearing like a very thin, light scarf with like a black, red, and white pattern. So I was at the Canterbury Ren Fair, and I did a lot of reading about the era of this Ren Fair that I was in. And like, I was like, I have a cool pirate costume. My pirate name is Stabby Patty. I've got all those cool pirate knives and shit.
Love that
like
name.
That. But like the golden age of piracy was from like the 16-ish hundreds to the 1720s.
Age of piracy.
And
age of sail.
The Canterbury Ren Fair is from like 100 years before that. And also it's in Europe. It's very, it's a typical kind of Ren Fair that's European focused. But I was like, oh, I already have all this cool stuff from all around the world. You know what I mean? I have like a Japanese tanto. I have like a rail spike knife. I have like a more traditional long, like short sword on my hip. What if my character for the Ren Fair, and I work for a rum company, so like what if my character for the Ren Fair was like a Mediterranean smuggler who always claims that I'm just an honest merchant doing my best, but really he's smuggling alcohol into the East and then smuggling, I don't know.
Normally you smuggle yeast into the alcohol. You're just flipping all of the tropes upside down.
Exactly. It's, you know what I mean? I was like, what if my character's like a smuggling merchant kind of, because that's basically
cool.
a pirate. Yeah. So what I want to do for my Ren Fair character going forward, and these two characters are kind of like pretty much the same. I mean, they could have existed almost at the same time, but what I want to do is I want to collect interesting pieces from this period of time, from the Ottoman Empire, from North African empires, from European empires.
Like a pastiche of the time.
Yeah, I want to have him I want him to be like a world traveler. So like, it was kind of funny because I was having a blast at the Ren Fair and stuff like that.
These granny pantaloons I got from the Spice Silk Road.
Exactly. I want to be able to
Want to see?
I want to tell.
I put them on my head.
I want to tell like a story about all the pieces on my kit, and especially because
I like that.
He's like a knife focused character. So I did a bunch of reading about like knives and weapons and short swords of the Ottoman Empire because like. I grew up in America. They don't really teach you a lot about the Ottoman Empire, but
they really don't. For years, I thought it was just made completely out of furniture.
That shit was a big deal. So I basically spent the whole car ride there and like half of my time at the Ren Fair on my phone reading Wikipedia articles about the
There's
Ottoman
worse ways
Empire.
to spend your time on the way to a Ren Fair.
Anyway, so I got to the Ren Fair and it was 90 degrees outside. I had no fucking hat. They wouldn't let me wear glasses. For all you goblins out there, I look like, if you ever see me in the wild, especially during spring, summer, and most of fall, I look like a fucking CIA operative about to hold a coup because I'll normally be wearing a full like hat, like baseball cap with big aviator sunglasses underneath of it, fully dapped up.
Yeah.
Like
you look like a white dude from the South.
Exactly. Because I cannot stand the sun. I have like big blue eyes.
Yep.
I get light blindness all the time.
Irish sensitivities. I get it.
I can see in the dark like a motherfucker though. Practically a fucking vampire.
Yeah.
So I was going to die. Oh, and I had just come back from a backpacking trip like a week ago where I got sunburned for being out on the beach for 45 minutes without a shirt. And I had like legit level 1 sunburn. So I get to this thing not realizing I can't wear my sunglasses. I can't wear a hat. I'm going to fucking fry if I don't find something. So my first quest at Canterbury Ren Fair, you enter the fair. There's like one tunnel of merchants that are under covered trees. And then it's all open field outside of that. So me and Jacques, the goblin we've had on the podcast, our first mission was to go to all the merchants. And I walked up to each of them like, hey guys, I'm looking for like a thin headscarf. It'd be cool if it had some sort of like, like Mediterranean or even Middle Eastern or Eastern European flair to it. Just so I could like cover my head and not get sunburnt. So, we went to 5 or 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 shops asking around. They were pointing me in different directions. I found one merchant who had like a head bandana thing. I didn't really like it, didn't fit it. I stuck to the vibe. And eventually, I found like a traveling caravan kind of thing going on. And I saw the scarf and I felt it. And immediately I knew it was thin. And my whole character has a lot of reds, blacks, and some greens going on. So to find a black scarf with like red and white lines running through it is just like so perfect. And it's exact perfect. It's thin,
it's really snazzy.
Polyester or cotton. I think it's cotton. Super soft. So yeah, I looked up online how to wear it really quickly. And then I had it over my head like this the whole day. And
YouTube is so useful for this sort of thing.
Oh my God. It made me look like a cool fucking rogue, dude.
You still do. You brought it with you home.
Scarf. You know what I mean? It just, I was like, and then of course, I've been starting to reread, that book series that Slick, one of the goblins in the Discord, got me turned on to.
Malazan?
Malazan Empire. And a lot of that takes a lot of inspiration from like Middle Eastern and other desertous kind of places. So.
Well, that's fabulous.
So yeah, that's my story about Ren Fair. I had a fucking ball.
I, on the other hand, didn't play any games this week, so I got nothing to contribute.
Oh, shit. Well, I killed some bitches and bloodlords. That's kind of... we had a good fight. We leveled to 6.
Level to 6?
We're level 6
I leveled to 2 in Runelords, so I guess I did do something. I don't remember what I talked about last time, even though we filmed that thing, 3 days ago?
Yeah, it was like last week.
But yeah, my daddy got gacked by my idiot half-brother.
Yep.
And he's a part of some sort of a plot to visit fire in Goblin Spittle onto my hometown. And now we're trying to figure out what to do. But we leveled to 2.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm trying out the archetype for one of the 2 new classes.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
The tactician?
Yeah.
Tactician,
the commander.
Alchemist. Commander,
yeah. I'm going to be grabbing, the Sandpoint flag off of... Whoops, I fucking just...
It's all right.
We need to edit that part because that's supposed to be a big surprise.
Not going to happen.
All right.
The goblins are going to listen.
Anyhow. I got lots of things in this episode to talk about regarding flags.
He's got a brewing. I love it. I love it. I picked up...
So yeah.
When we leveled to 6, I picked up... I'm playing an exemplar. Toku is an exemplar, a skeleton exemplar who wields a katana. And
God, I wish he would have been like
his archetype.
A Tengu.
What?
Toku the Tengu skeleton.
Oh, yeah.
How fucking creepy cool would that have been?
Yeah, it'd be pretty great. It'd be pretty rad. My character is actually based off of Tokugawa, like a famous shogun of the Tokugawa.
I don't know how to make
Emperor.
that connection, but yeah.
Yeah,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I named him after one of the greatest Japanese emperors of all time.
Yeah, we know our James Clavell around here.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Japanese history. So anyway, he's kind of like, he's forgotten his past, even though he was this great warrior years ago. And now he's like on the other side of the world protecting some idiot vampire. I love you, Brian. Who keeps putting himself in harm's way. He's like the hardest person to guard.
Worst predator ever.
Literally. And yeah, I've got the champion dedication. So I'm like an anti-paladin. And yeah, I picked up a bunch of cool I picked up a feat. One of the exemplar feats. You spend 3 actions and you can strike at full map each time for up to 4 attacks, but they have to hit consecutively.
Nice. So
it's full map, but the only single time I got to use it, I spent like one whole action lining myself so I was in between 2 monsters during the fight. And then I went to go use it, rolled a 2.
Huh.
And I missed the first attack, so the whole setup, all 3 actions were wasted.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, that feels bad.
Oh, I took Farlobber for my alchemist because it gets me to 30 feet. You know how much how far the aura goes for the flags?
30 feet.
I can heal on the front lines.
Oh, yeah, you can, baby.
Yeah, as long as everybody around me is smart enough to stay on this side of that 30-yard line, then I can plink you for 1d6, and they're always going to be 1. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, well, that's just Eric.
You have no idea how bad I've been rolling this week.
That's just who you are, baby.
I own it.
Got to learn to play more classes. We don't have to roll.
You mean a whole nother system?
Basically. So yeah, that was what we played. It's pretty short, pretty sweet. I'm gonna be running a one shot.
You are. We're gonna be
on this
pirates.
Thursday. Yeah, I found one of the first one shots Paizo made,
which I'll be playing a Tengu.
Yeah,
who is a pelican.
Yeah,
but he's still a Tengu.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
he's not a pelican in the picture, but he's a pelican in our hearts.
I put together the image for you guys.
Yeah. But like,
the Munos and money.
The one on the
he's not all
actual.
There.
Yeah. And I'm gonna be running the tactician as the 4th character.
You're doing that, okay?
Yeah,
cool.
I was kind of on the fence, but I really want to play test it. And I think, not to belabor what we played too long, but I think one of the things that's going to make me excited about playing or DMing Pathfinder is being able to play test classes, even though I'm a DM.
Yeah.
So I think
I figure that's where you get your joy.
So I think going forward, I'm always going to be playing or play testing the 5th character in our party or 4th character in our party. In this
I think that's genius.
You know, just kind of gets my rocks off, lets me play step in both worlds. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good summation of what we played.
Neat.
So today,
let's cry some battle.
Yeah. So today, this episode, if you click through the thumbnail, you'll see that this is our top 10, our Goblin 10.
Battle Cry round 2.
Battle Cry round 2. Yes. Top 10 player choices from Battle Cry. This book is pretty squarely 75% player options.
It's 25% super straightforward, but it's deliciously horizontal.
Exactly. So more than likely, Eric and I will overlap. If you're new here, our top 10 videos are pretty interesting. Eric picks 5, I pick 5.
And they're rarely the same.
We have a bunch of honorable mentions. And when they are the same, we basically
means something.
2 different. Exactly. Yeah. It means something. It means the designers really fucking, they won on all accounts.
Yeah. It's a Venn diagram, yo.
Yeah. So I'm really excited to talk about the stuff. We've had about a week and a half, 2 weeks to read this book. I have had.
We've had like. Has it been that long?
It's been like 2 weeks, right?
Wow. It feels like 3 days plus a week, maybe.
Oh, maybe you're right, actually.
Yeah.
Well, so last time we shot this video, oh my God.
Wasn't it late last week?
It's literally, we got the book last Monday.
Friday?
It's 8 days ago.
Yeah,
we got the book 8 days ago. The last time we shot this episode, it was the day after I got the book. So it feels like a world of difference. Yeah. I've had my new tablet in my lap, in bed, almost every single night. Going over just little pieces.
Yeah, we had our knee-jerk reactions based on the 20 sentences per chapter we were able to read before we shot. So now... Yeah,
I have fully read every single one of the archetypes, almost every one of the items, which I will be talking about because there's
because items are not interesting to me so much.
Oh, okay, we'll get into it. There's a new kind of item that is kind of blowing up Reddit right now for good reason. So
categories are different.
Yeah,
we can talk about that.
They've added a category of items, and they're all very.
I'm always excited for a new book when they introduce new design space.
Exactly. So let's jump into it, Eric.
Done.
Tell me your number 1.
My number 1 is actually number 5 because I like the idea of building up. Or are we starting with the cream?
No, we're going with our least favorite.
Our least favorite. Okay, number 5.
Yeah, number 5.
You Dice Tower fans out there. Yeah. So I labeled this incorrectly, but it's also sort of correct. Now, banners. I'm on a bit of a banner kick because I'm on a bit of a commander kick.
Okay.
So I'd like to start with the commander angle and then dip into banners a little bit. In the 8 days since I've been reading this thing, I've come to realize I love the idea of the commanders because they're better bards. They're more interesting bards. Now, hold that feature. Hold that face. That needs to be our next thumbnail.
For the listeners,
Bards are full of static support. They finger bang their little wooden holes and then they give you a +1 for something. That's all they do. You spend every session feeling like you're just chewing your teammates' toenails to make them, prettier. That's all it is. I feel no excitement in that. It's a static experience playing a bard for me.
Okay.
Every round is the same. It never changes. Every output of numerics from the bard is the same and never changes. It just gets more powerful as you go from level 1 to 20. But with the commander, the kind of support you give is dynamic. If I give you if I sing a song about your grandma's poundings on your head, and you're like, wow, I feel really good about this. This is my identity. I feel like I've been seen. Thank you, Grandma, and you, Bard.
Oh my God.
You hit things easier, right?
Yeah.
So what's different the next round when that happens? Abso-fucking-lutely nothing.
Got it.
But if I go, I'm going to give you 3 5-foot steps, it's just going to cost you your reaction. So I give you support.
And you hand out a free reaction.
And yeah. So what do you do with those? Is it the same every time I give it to you? Of course not, because you have different stuff on the battle mat. And the combinations of squares you can access to get away from the bad guys if you're doing the retreat version, it makes me as a support character go to the bathroom, come back, and miss out on whatever happened on your turn because that's a different experience.
Yeah,
if I'm a bard,
I see what you're saying.
chewing your fucking toenails because nothing ever changes, grooming everybody, giving you little Brazilians so that by your turn you're pretty to swing.
We get the
I can go to the bathroom, come back, and go, I don't need to know what happens. I already know what it is. You got a +1 to hit because I gave it to you. Bards are fucking boring. I think they're the worst part of Pathfinder for me.
Hot takes.
Because I don't treat this as a board game.
Oh.
I think they're exceptional when it comes to the numbers. But I've got board games for that. I've got $5,000 worth of board games in my collection for that.
Just remember, Goblins, Eric doesn't believe in the G in RPGs.
I think the R is the G.
See? This is why there's 2 hosts to this podcast.
Yeah, G is not the R.
Exactly.
The G is only the R when there's an S in the middle.
Oh,
see what I did there?
That was
Anyhow,
okay.
all of this brings me back to flags because I'm trying to learn how they work because I'm playing an alchemist flag shaker.
Alchemist flag shaker. Can we come up with like shitty goblin names for all the classes?
I think we should.
Like flag shaker, angry boy.
Yeah, throw your suggestions below. In the what do we call that?
The doobly-doo.
Yeah, that's what the kids are calling it, especially that one guy out there.
The doobly-doo, more like the doobly-don't. Am I right?
I don't want to walk you through all the rules. Is that what this is?
Well,
do I need to teach people how to do it?
You fucking picked one of my top 5. I was going to do honorable mentions.
Okay, well, you're going to do all the crunch, so I'll just kind of slide through it. I think I chewed up enough scenery with that one.
You're good.
Blue, 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 blue.
So let's talk about banners. Is that
go ahead and start. Yeah, I've got like 2 pages of stuff here, but I want to.
Are we talking about the commander or are we talking about banners?
Banners specifically, and if commanders link into it and they're on your list, now's the time.
So, my fancy tablet isn't loading my notes, but luckily my phone has them. Banners are good. So the way banners work is basically one person attunes to them, and then everyone in a 30-foot radius gets to feel the glory of a banner and get the buff that the banner hands out.
Right. And this is before combat. This is before encounter mode.
Well, and during encounter mode.
Okay. You can attune to things in the middle of encounter mode?
No. You have to attune to it beforehand.
That's what I'm saying, which is important because there's something else on my list.
Right. So one person attunes to the banner, and then only one you can only benefit from from one banner at a time.
Yes.
So what's interesting, when you read that ability, when you read that first paragraph or 2 about banners, you're like, okay, so this is exactly what I thought it was. It's a bunch of buff stuff, and basically only one person's going to be holding one banner. It's going to be handing out a bunch of buffs. That one banner is going to hand out a good buff that we all choose, and that's great. Okay, cool. That's only half the story.
Yeah, and just to tie that in a knot, if you have dueling banners, a Venn diagram of banners, strongest one wins is kind of a spell rejection.
Yeah, you can also choose to ignore the ability of a banner so that you can gain the
That is so weird to me. I don't like that.
I don't like that flag. I like this one.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I choose which emotions I am influenced by magically.
This is interesting because we talked a lot about in the last podcast episode about how this book kind of creates a new quote unquote meta for. I mean, there's no
1,000%. I'm doubling down on that.
There's no meta in D&D because we're all playing cooperatively. It
wasn't before,
but And the DM is balancing the game against us, but this book has changed a lot of things. Yeah. And the inclusion of a category like banners is so powerful that it does kind of shift upwards the whole power level of the game. Luckily, most banners, at least the good ones, aren't available to like level 10 anyway. So that's a nice upside.
Yeah, but you can start swinging banners at 4, right?
Yeah, level 4 item, which means you can get it by 3rd level if you can afford it. So here's the thing.
That's true.
Half of banners actually have negative effects that only target your opponents.
Mhm.
So remember how the banner ability says you can only benefit from one banner?
Mhm.
Well, it turns out there are enough banners to go around where the whole party can be each holding a banner. And if planned properly, can all benefit from banners in a certain way. So you can have like one or maybe two buff banners where one buff banner is appropriate for some fights, another buff banner is appropriate for other fights, and the whole party kind of just looks at one banner. I think it takes like a minute to like reattune to a specific banner. But like having multiple banners with cool effects of buffs would be really useful. And then you can have, then the other two party members can have aggro banners that target opponents and make them take more damage from things. And if I could be mistaken, goblins, I could be mistaken. I could have read this wrong. My rules lawyering could be rusty, but
they can't do that. It specifically says that if there's two competing banners, the stronger one dominates, period, 100% of the time.
But that's
if
for
they're
buffs,
equal,
not for offensive abilities. So what I'm saying is, from what I've read, the offensive banners, of which there's like half of them, are affecting the opponents. That is who they affect.
Okay.
Meaning that the banner affects them and doesn't affect you. So you can have one, you can have at least one buff banner and one aggro banner.
Okay. All right.
That's my reading.
Sure.
And if that's true, even on its face, that means every party now needs to save up its money collectively to have two banners at any given time.
I'm sorry. I thought you meant everybody had a banner.
No. I mean, you could have everyone have a banner so that they're attuned to it, but they kind of just stow it away. Let's say we're getting into a situation where I know what my next fight is because I did scouting. I know that movement is going to be way more useful and pertinent than, let's say, extra damage. So while I'm still attuned to one of these banners, the other people in the party, if I remember correctly, can choose not to be affected by the banner, or the person who has a banner that they don't want the effect of can just stow it away. So that's not giving off its buff. And now the other person who's attuned to the other banner that has a technically lower level banner can still apply their buff to everyone. Because it's like we need more mobility versus more damage, so we go that way. And then you have two offensive banners on the battlefield. I'm pretty sure offensive banners can't affect the same target overlapping, but maybe one banner is far more effective to the enemy than the other. Again, like if you have more information, each person at least having access and attuned to one banner really matters. Now, I've never played a game of Pathfinder where I really needed all 10 of my attunement slots. Like, I don't know about you, but
we don't play high level games.
Well, that's true. We've never been in, and again,
12 is about my cap.
This is brand new and we've never played high level games really. And this is a kind of a new category of item.
It is, yeah. And it's kind of, there's different interaction dynamics that I'm wrestling with because we have 24 plus classes and there's a lot of support abilities out there. And there are things that stack and there are other things that don't stack and there are things that can coexist. There are things get nullified if they share the same spot.
Yeah.
And all of that is, 8 days later. I don't have it memorized yet.
Exactly.
But I know that if you have like two buff banners, it's not so much which one do you want to be active on you. It's the one you're most loyal to. And whatever the language was. So it seems like it's a bit more restrictive than I'm hearing right now.
Some DMs,
but I could be entirely wrong.
And some DMs can interpret that as like loyalty is literally just a choice you make as a psychopathic player. And the other DMs like you, I would imagine, would be like the one you're loyal to matches your lore. You know what I mean? Or your background.
The color of my pantaloons.
Exactly.
From my grandmother.
Who I love so
atop
deeply.
My head.
Exactly. So one of my top 5 goblin picks here is banners.
Okay. All right.
They are also on my list, but they're actually further down my list.
Yeah.
I think they're way more impactful than
they're at the bottom for me.
Yeah. Like as in
it's my number 5.
That's your number 5. Yeah. This is like my number 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's your second favorite of this top 5
They're
list?
super powerful. Yeah. I really can't overstate Whetstones, not so much. I was holding out for Whetstones, but
Well, we'll talk about Whetstones in a bit because that's on my list.
Oh, there you go.
There's like 5 things in the book, of course, are going to be on our list.
Oh my God. So before we go any further, I will throw out some honorable mentions.
Honorable mention.
I'm going to be super quick. We should have done this first, but that's okay.
Yeah. Take no more time than you did with your Ren Fair story.
Done. Honorable mentions. Necrologist.
Oh my God, yes.
I was kind of disappointed by Necrologists. They almost made it into the list, but because of the way the rules work, they should have been their own class. I feel like
they're going to be.
Well,
next book.
Necromancer is its own class, but
we don't know what's in it.
We don't know what's in it.
But I mean, do they even have the playtest yet?
I seriously doubt that they're going to make the Necromancer a troop summoner like they did for the Necrologist. And I say summoner very specifically because... So the reason why the summoner kind of works, I have issues with the summoner, but the reason it kind of works, you share HP with your Eidolon, but you've got 10 base HP. You're a caster with base 10 HP. The Necrologist shares HP with their summoned swarm. It costs a bunch of actions to create it and sustain it, and you share HP with it. But the requirement is that you're a class that has spell slots. And that can cast summon undead, which means that you have a base 6 HP. So every time I see someone playing a Necrologist, they're going to get fucking murked immediately.
What book are they in?
Because, what do you mean, what book?
What book does a Necrologist appear in?
Battlecry?
What subsystem is in Battlecry?
Groups?
You got the whole thing's holistic. The Necrologist can't be talked about in a vacuum. I think it has to be talked about with everything else in this book. So, because I think it's all running support for one another.
The issue is the zombies don't get the troop tag, but they do actions very much like a troop would. My biggest issue, as I said, is you don't get animal companions. They preclude you from getting animal companions.
That's a big thing in this book.
You can't have, and you share HP. My biggest issue is that you share HP. That's the biggest downfall.
Yeah, Robert doesn't share HP.
Well, yeah, especially when you're a base 6 HP class that takes extra damage from AoE fire.
Sure. Like G before R. Totally get it.
It's the G before the R, man. That's why I wanted to love Necrologist so bad. They just didn't make it onto my top 5. And the other my other honorable mention is the Munitions Master.
Okay.
The inventor class. Dude,
the thing I wanted my alchemist to be, but I can't.
I low-key fucking love the idea of just walking around with a mortar.
Yeah.
Like, on paper, this is so fucking cool.
I am crazy surprised they came out with that ahead of the same thing that's coming out in the first Starfinder book. That soldier is a heavy munitions fighter. Yeah. And it just feels weird that these two are coming in within like weeks of each other.
Well, it's probably the designers designing, it's the same system. So it makes sense that the
but you can play one and the other.
I think what you're speaking to is more of a jack of all trades heavy munitions fighter. Whereas when you read the Munition Master, you just get access to this mortar. You're not a heavy weapons master. You're a mortar master.
Well, yeah, it's an archetype versus an actual class.
Exactly.
So you're going to get a whole lot more in the soldier than you will in the munitions master.
Exactly, and that's what I'm
kind
of talking about.
I feel like one's a diet version of the other, at least in concept. Obviously, I haven't read the soldier because it's not out yet.
So the reason I really love Munitions Master is because of the flavor. The idea of walking around with a giant mortar is badass. It has unlimited range.
I just want to be like on the
hilarious.
city watch, manning the far wall out there on the back.
Exactly. I just want to be the goblin walking around with a giant mortar on his shoulder.
Hiding in the crow's nest.
Dude. It does AoE damage. That's the only damage it does. I love it. It's
These
amazing.
are like the old 16-bit video games like Goblin Commander.
Exactly. The reason why I didn't end up on my top 5, my top 10 is that it requires a lot of actions to use. And I will say as you level up through the archetype, it gets rid of a lot of those actions that are normally required. But the scaling of the weapon, it's one of those fun choices that are clearly not optimal. But then again, the inventor is weird. The inventor is not optimal. I can see someone arguing that this is actually like the most optimal inventor because it relies on AoEs that are based off of your class DC rather than your range strikes. The problem with the inventor is that they're mad.
Yeah.
They have multiple attribute dependency. So your
accuracy is more of a thing with the inventor.
Exactly. Your accuracy always sucks.
Yeah.
But you get extra damage from your int score, which is your main stat. So maybe this is like actually
with the range
meta.
and the AoE, what I thought they were doing, and I haven't obviously dug into the math of this particular archetype, is if you can do those two things, movement isn't as big a part of your archetype. So if you don't need movement actions, doing more actions to do AoE and range things, that I just assumed that's what they were using.
Can you imagine though? You're in a dungeon firing a mortar. Like what the fuck?
Yes, I can, because we have all been at a table where that fucking wizard steps into an elevator, the door closes, and they launch fireball.
Exactly. This is the Alchemist bomber on steroids. It's amazing.
Yeah, you're right. All the Alchemist bomber artwork.
Yeah.
That he's got an idiot cousin. That's this archetype.
Exactly. And the art that they
Ooh,
used.
Goblin, Three Stooges.
There you go. So yeah, those are my honorable mentions: Munitions, Master, Necrologist,
Alchemist. This.
So
okay, cool. I like those honorable mentions. I'm happy with those.
And I tried not to pick too many honorables.
I noticed you didn't pick the Gazetteer.
Yeah, that's not a player option, Eric.
That was a good time to say neither did the writers of the book. They buried it in the index.
Yeah,
that was such an interesting choice. I mean, I agree for this book specifically, but it looked like a very deliberate bit of shade. I don't know. One goblin's opinion.
There's two fucking classes, an ancestry, something like 10 or 15 archetypes, and a bunch of new class options, some of which are also archetypes. And then there's new items. There's
like 30 vehicles in this book. I don't think Guns and Gears got that kind of love.
This is also, the vehicles. This is also a troops bestiary randomly.
Yeah.
Like,
it's,
I think they ran out of pages.
I think you're right. It's almost like a monster core, a player core, and a GM core all in one.
Literally.
I didn't think about that.
That's kind of the way I see it.
It's the kineticist of books. I don't know. I'm reaching.
So
you're Necrologist.
That was my number 2.
Yeah.
Which was Banners. That was your number 5.
Yeah. Your Necrologist is basically a segue into mine, which is the Captain archetype.
Oh,
because
Eric,
it leans heavily on what?
We're picking the same shit.
There's 5 things to talk about in this book. It just takes up all the
I can't
word
believe
count.
you picked the commander. Okay, we're getting into the commander.
No, the captain.
Captain. Yeah, captain. Commander, captain feels like the same thing. But you're right.
So for each of these, I tried not to just rehash what we did 3 days ago in the last video.
Yeah.
So why do I like the idea of the captain, even though I don't fully understand its execution yet mathematically? I want it to do what I was trying to do in the 5e campaign we did, Out of the Abyss.
Yeah.
Remember when I had my drow?
Yes, I do.
With his loyal Chewbacca sidekick?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I wanted the Han Solo Chewbacca experience. I wanted the Ren and Stimpy experience, the Beavis and Butthead experience. I wanted the guy who's the class and then the other guy who's the collaborator, right? Who's just slightly, Ren and sidekick, but is still formidable. And in Chewie's case, more so.
The Batman and Robin.
Yeah. The whole dynamic duo archetype is what this is about, and I really like it. Plus, not only did they do that, but they added a whole new sort of a follower. It's not really a subsystem, but it's part of the main system. Anyhow, being able to recreate that was really exciting to me. I like ensemble casts. One of the reasons why I like ensemble casts, if we think of like West Wing and really any show, comic book, manga, whatever, where there's a main character and there's another main character, and then there's another main character. And when they go their 3 separate ways, the center of the world goes 3 separate ways. You don't get that in a ton of Western storytelling, at least not until recently.
That's so funny because the book I'm beginning to get, book series I'm getting back into, the Malazan series, is a story of...
It has to be with the page count I've seen at Barnes & Noble.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's one dude's story, then I don't know what's going on in that guy's life.
But you're following like 5 different lines all at once, and they all interweave with each other. That's what's cool.
So I dig that this is an archetype where the decisions are more about the flavor and less about the squeezing out of another 0.3521 to my next projectile diarrhea skill check. I like this because I'm not a fan of minutia bloat.
Yeah.
I like having options. That's why I play Pathfinder 2. If I didn't want options, I'd play something else. I want my flavor and I want my options, but I don't want it to like overload one or the other. That's why PF2E and 5E almost feel like a binary choice for me in that respect.
Oh.
So this kind of helps to even those two worlds out a little bit. I love Die Hard and Bruce Willis stories.
Mm-hmm.
They're great. Indiana Jones, fantastic, but they're not literary in my brain. Ensembles feel more akin to a lived-in, verisimilitudinous experience. It feels like the world lives and breathes, whether I'm fucking in the room or not.
Verisimilitudinous?
Yeah. Did I get that right?
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
I was like, that's badass.
Scrabble judges out there? Is this like 6 points?
Yeah. At least 6.
Yeah. So the idea that that if my character is there, shit goes down and it's epic and it's cinematic.
Right.
If my character goes to the bathroom after giving you reactions and he comes back and then everything's different, what the fuck did I miss? The world moves on, whether I'm there or not.
Right.
I don't want the camera on my character 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I want everybody around the table to be the main character in our shared story.
So how does the
Options
captain's
like this help that.
sidekick do that? Like specifically, tangibly, tactically?
Because they treat the follower tag, the follower trait, is closer to the animal companion.
Right. Yeah.
Less so than the familiar. So essentially you get action economy you get to fuck around with. They do things. They do standard player actions.
Just
they can
so the
stride, they can
goblins
crawl,
know,
they can scuttle.
They have the minion trait.
And that's really why this is on my list.
Yeah.
Everything I just said, you may as well play a ranger with a cat. But this one, you get the minion trait. And a couple episodes ago, I remember just sort of like gushing over just the idea that hasn't been fully realized yet of what they can do with the minion trait. Where is that design space going? Please give us more minions because I'm never going to play a summoner. And all of the feats I see that involve minion traits, almost all of them have to do with summoners. And that's just, give me something else, please.
Right.
So this is that something else.
Interesting.
And again, Han Solo, buddy cop stories, you get to do with this.
So the goblins out there know minion trait is almost exclusively found for animal companions.
Mm-hmm.
The summoner's Eidolon doesn't have the minion trait. They completely...
Which is goofy.
Well, yeah.
I'm sure there's a math reason, but it's goofy.
Well, they tried new design space.
Mm-hmm.
It does allow the summoner's Eidolon to do things that it normally wouldn't be able to do mechanically.
Mm-hmm.
They were trying something new. I don't personally agree with how it worked, but just so you goblins are aware, like there are a couple different archetypes that allow you to play, just get an animal companion.
Mm-hmm.
They allow you to get an undead animal companion or an elemental.
Not a familiar or a pet, but an actual companion.
A companion. And there's like familiars have different math than a companion. Companions are meant to go into fights and toe to toe. They're kind of like shitty combats. They're like shitty marshals.
Yeah. And according to this, you can have a follower and you can have a familiar,
but you can't have
a follower and an animal companion.
Exactly. Yeah. A familiar. Yeah, you were right. A familiar and a follower. Yes. But animal companions and these followers hold the exact same slot.
Exactly. Right.
They have.
And that's the exciting place I want to play with because so many of the stories I've absorbed, there's that other character that's a little bit lesser in stature, but without it, the experience just wouldn't be the same.
Exactly. They have the same math as an animal companion. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So another cool thing about this specific archetype is you can have one loyal companion, the knight and his squire. There's your follower. Yeah. And as you go up in levels, you can have multiple followers and you can swap them out. I forget what it is, like 10 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
You can just say, you go away. I need somebody who can actually do tightrope walking.
Well, you can basically tap them in. The idea is like
wrestling.
I love one of the feats that we have here for the captain where it's like you literally have a posse of bros that just vibe with you.
Yeah.
And they don't have a mechanical benefit. They're not a troop.
Sure.
But they do give you bonuses to crafting checks and all this stuff. And
it's perfect in a Western game.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And this reminds me a lot of one of the classes. I don't think they're called classes, but whatever. In Powered by the Apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
There is a literal whole class.
Playbook.
Who has a gang.
Mm-hmm.
And that's your ability. Your ability, your magical ability is you have friends that are backing you up.
What a power fantasy to have friends.
I know, for nerds especially. Jesus Christ. In the year of 2025.
Next you'll be saying they have a character class that specializes in having girlfriends. Bard.
Well, with the captain, No. No,
Oh my God.
we're not going there.
Oh, yes, we are.
No, we're not, Eric.
I don't know about you, but I'm going back to Hell's Vengeance.
So the captain mathematically is almost exactly the same as a animal companion. Like the followers are almost exactly the same.
Sure.
They get access to more actions.
Yes.
They get actually access to the typical actions instead of having like a badger or a fox or a lion or a tiger. You get these pseudo classes of follower. So there's like a barbarian, there's an archer, there's a fighter, there's a medic, so on and so forth.
Yep.
From
Berserker, medic, scout, sharpshooter, and shield bearer. That was 2 points after where I was going next, but absolutely.
Yeah, I would say
follower types.
From a mechanical perspective, the medic is actually one of my favorites because the medic is damn good at medicine.
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise. And one of the things I found is like players will spend a lot of feats, especially in the beginning, picking up
like battle medicine and
all the medicine feats. Yep. And if Brian's medicine checks or anything to save for the medicine as a general, it can be pretty swingy. If you don't take a shot.
Stop doing risky surgery, Brian.
Oh, no, it's not even risky surgery.
It's not? Okay, because
So
that's usually the main culprit.
He battle medicines people who are on death's door and then nat ones, which means they take damage.
Well done.
And he's almost done that multiple times. I'll never let
I'm sorry, you're dead. I thought this was what we were going for.
Yeah, when you're undead, turns out you don't know a lot about medicine. You're like, oh, to heal you, I put a noose around your neck and hang you from the tree because you're already dead. So more dead makes you more alive.
Huh, what does this artery do?
Huh, exactly.
One of the things I like about the followers, many things, but another one is how they auto build. You don't have to make a bunch of micro decisions to figure out what they do and what they don't do. They sort of level up and they do things when they hit. It's basically milestone leveling.
They level up just like an animal companion would.
Yeah.
Which is exactly as they should. They do not get magical items. This is not.
No, but they get a kit.
They do, but this is not. It's very important though. Like they went a completely different design direction than they could have. You know, they could have just made the mistake of making this leadership. From,
Right. Which is where I thought they were going.
Or Pathfinder
and I'm glad they
1.
didn't.
And they didn't. They gave us what we wanted from leadership, which is that sidekick buddy cop experience, without fucking up the math so hard, where it's just an auto take every single time.
How long do you think they were working on this before they finally slipped that in? Because this isn't the sort of thing they could have done in the first half a dozen books.
If I had to bet, they've been working on this for a very long. This is an obvious, I think, design space to expand into, and I think they've been holding back.
Yeah, because troops have been around since what, the third bestiary?
It's not even troops. It's just like, to me, this is just an extension of the animal companion.
Right.
With the animal companion, they've created a system where you can have a separate body that has its own HP.
That's what troops are.
Well,
the 5-action economy? It's playing on.
No. Okay.
No, not at all. We'll get to that. I'm going to make that argument later.
Animal companions are not a troop.
Right.
Troops are completely different.
I'm not saying they're a troop.
Okay, cool. Animal companions are companions that you spend one action, they get 2.
Right.
That expands your action economy up to 4. And they created the system in the very first core book with the druid and the animal companion.
Right.
The second they made this animal companion system, they must, many designers, I think it's fairly obvious to be like, to expand this to a leadership kind of thing where you have an individual person. Instead of it being a tiger, it's just a person now.
Sure.
Like, but I'm sure that they wrestled with how players would be receptive to it. You know, how, there's some fucking gamey players out there who are like, oh, I buy them a magical weapon, blah, 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 blah. And
we both have spells, so let's both cast them on my turn.
They went, I'm almost positive they hem and hawed over how to handle this for a very long time. And eventually they were like, fuck it. We tell players they cannot buy them shit. This is literally just an animal companion. We know the math works. We know the math is tight. It works really well in our system, and we're going to ship it this way. And I think they did the right choice.
Yeah, if this had existed back when Nick's kobold character as Body Man had been murdered,
Oh my god.
he wouldn't have died. That's exactly what I would have done here. I would have used these rules.
Yeah, I would have
So,
been so perfect.
I'll get to the troop later, but I think the troop is the next logical step out from that.
Okay, gotcha.
Using that same design philosophy. Because we've had mass war games forever. And this is a way to get the localized, Ranger Wolf, Druid Wolf, move it on to Batman and Robin, move it on to Commander and Troop.
Yeah.
It's that thought process.
It's an evolution
almost the
of
same
that
map.
idea, but like troops, as we've seen with the Necrologist,
Mhm.
troops cannot exist in the typical combat that we have.
Right.
As a sidekick.
Right.
Because of the way they've designed troops and how they deal damage and how they interact with the world, they're just not compatible
Mhm.
with this animal companion and 6-second round 3-action economy. They work as an opponent,
Yeah.
but like you cannot add a troop to a class as power. Now, I can see an argument where a class, if a class had its own, they could make a class whose whole thing is having its own troop, like a summoner with its Eidolon, except it's a troop.
Right.
I think you could make that math work, but I don't think that math
Are we
works.
talking about standard encounter mode where you walk into a dungeon and you have like
Yes.
a 30?
That's what I'm talking about.
That's not what I'm talking about.
I know that's not what you're talking about.
Okay.
And that's my point.
Like the commander in the troop is the RTS version of the druid and his animal companion.
yes, I completely agree.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
Okay. So they're the same thing.
Exactly. We agree. I'm saying the troop, I'm trying to explain as to why the troop cannot exist in a typical combat like partnered with an animal companion.
It's a completely different story.
As a stand-in for an animal companion. Troops are so powerful of an idea that they'd have to be a core class ability for them to even begin to make mathematical sense on the playing field.
Yeah, and I think the amount of abstractionism and mental gymnastics players would have to do to justify what troops, a group of 6 people cannot do when they're in the room with you. This system does not support that level of abstraction.
And to be fair, like when you force players to abstract like that, going back to some of our previous episodes about spoons, like that takes a lot
the
of
cognitive
spoons.
load is just too much and they snap.
Cognitive load, exactly. So like more abstraction leads to more cognitive load spend that you have to level on the shoulders of your players.
One of the things I wanted to get your thoughts on was the math of this. So they explicitly say that your followers are human. That's like our baseline. But if you take this level 4 feat, you can get yourself a Quagoth. So it also it also says, but that being said, asterisk, check with your GM and see if they just want to hand wave that requirement. So where are we? Can you or can't you? Are we talking about the difference between common and uncommon, or are we talking about the difference between common and rare? Where does the math lie on that specific? Am I going to break something if I pick a beholder sidekick versus a Jerry from the bagel shop downtown?
Okay, just like trying to find.
Sorry, we can't use beholders.
It's under followers. Oh yeah, TM. Please don't sue us, Watsy. Don't send people to my house. I will kill your Pinkertons.
Myopic eyeballs. Myopic tennis balls for eyes. I don't know.
Yeah,
I quit.
Yeah, Pinkertons are not welcome here in Portland. So
Especially now.
Yeah, especially now. Fuck you.
Where were we?
Just like the undead archetypes and like the undead ancestries, you can absolutely have a floating eyeball with tentacle eyeballs as your follower, as a quote unquote captain.
What do you call those again?
However, it wouldn't have all the same abilities of a eyeball man.
For the same reason your Howl of the Wild character can't just fly at first level.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For the same reason why you don't get full undead benefits from an undead archetype until like level 6. And even then they're still kind of mid. They're not full. You're not full undead, but you're pretty damn close. So
For the same reason why you can't play your Captain Archetype in a house of ill repute on a respectable YouTube channel.
sure, let's go with that. Wee woo, wee woo. So, to answer your question very succinctly, you could totally just strip the math off of
You're
one
reskinning
of
at that point?
and you're just reskinning.
Okay.
Now,
And I'm fine with that.
when it comes to abilities, that's where you can actually begin to play a game designer. And you can actually begin to strip all the abilities out of the medic, for instance, and ask yourself, well, what abilities does a Shoggoth have, or whatever?
Quaggoth?
Quaggoth?
Yeah. Dark vision.
Okay.
That's obviously something humans do not have.
Yeah.
And they account for that.
What does dark vision cost?
Demon?
We don't.
From down below?
Oh my God. We don't have a, there's no like point buy system for abilities like dark vision, but we can find examples where
more mobility, less damage, more damage, less mobility.
Exactly. Upgrading a dark vision from low light vision generally costs you a feat, right? One ancestry feat. Okay. Now we have a very specific amount of pay to play with dark vision. And we can start to make those trades here and there as DMs as you see fit. My recommendation would be to take let's say a dire wolf is a really easy example.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, dire wolf. It's a wolf, but it's smart, right?
That's what they say.
That's what they say.
There were 4 dumb ones, but one of them survived.
And then he died in Kingmaker.
No. Oh, in Kingmaker, sorry.
Yeah,
I was going Game of Thrones with that.
Oh, no. I was talking about Kingmaker. Remember the warg? You're like, where's our warg buddy? And it was like, he got
that fucking guy.
The level 2 warg got shot to death by these badass hobgoblins that almost killed you.
But he was supposed to level.
I know.
Wait, Battlecry wasn't a thing back then.
Yeah. So my point here is like reskin to your heart's content, and it'll never be an issue.
That's really the crux of it. Go ahead.
Start adding abilities. That's when you just need to be a little more careful.
Beholder gets disintegration. Why can't he have disintegration?
Well, maybe he can cast a spell once or twice or 3 times per day. Notice they didn't give us a caster as an archetype.
I did.
In the thing. I think that's really would have blown the lid wide open.
It is, and that's where but it's basically a troop type. Kind of that's where it goes off the rails. Because I noticed that as well. Anyhow, that gets me to my happy place. What we're essentially settling on is it's not a lore thing. It's not anything other than the math isn't the same. And the answer always comes back to the math isn't the same. If you want to go from human to sky giant, you're going to have to pull back on the pluses. That was mine.
Yeah, I picked Commander 2 as my number one pick.
Do it. What do you have to say about it?
I pretty much have already said almost everything I want to say about the Commander. It's mathematically really interesting. When we look at let's take the Berserker for example, because they're the best non-magical, just pure fighter we can get our hands on. At the very beginning, there's like 3 tiers to Commander followers. There's regular, experienced, veteran, and exceptional. They all get bonuses to their attacks. They all get increases in proficiency, and then eventually, on the veteran advancement, you get a new ability, along with a bunch of extra attacks.
Yep, and you don't have to pick and choose from a list of 37,000 of them.
No, they just happen. They get what they get.
Yep, I love that.
It's super streamlined, very succinct.
And if you want to tweak it, I imagine there's ways to do it without breaking shit.
Every one of these followers has one base ability. For the Berserker, it's follower ability. When Berserker takes damage, they gain a +1 status bonus to their next damage roll before the end of your next turn. Notice how they didn't give them Rage, which is a class.
Yeah, I thought that was the Barbarian stand-in. It's the Fighter stand-in. I only found that on like the 3rd or 4th read-through.
Exactly.
Because, words.
Exactly. So, for instance, on the Medic, our ability is the Medic has the Battle Medicine feat, and their kit includes a Healer's Toolkit. So, again, going back to your question, how do I replace these abilities? Clearly, follower abilities are equal to 1 feat. Specifically, the Battle Medicine feat is a general feat, right? So right now, at this very moment, we can easily equate one level 1 general feat in power to the follower ability, the base follower ability. We move on to the scout. Their follow ability. The scout deals 1d4 extra precision damage to off-guard targets. Okay. The scout is a shitty rogue.
Right.
And what's interesting here is that 1d4 extra precision damage. Guess what that perfectly lines up with, Eric?
Shit. I want to say the swashbuckler. Am I wrong?
Nope. Keep going.
Rogue.
Yes. But more obvious. Well,
I
not
second
more
guess
obvious,
myself
but,
on that.
What kind of rogue?
Fuck.
What kind of rogue in the book does 1d4 precision damage?
I still haven't really played a rogue.
So this does the same amount of damage as the archetype for the rogue. So the rogue archetype deals 1d4 damage. The regular rogue does 1d6.
Is that true?
It is true. I'm positive.
I learned a thing today.
Yeah.
Okay.
I built one for Amy at our table. Remember when she was like she was playing a rogue and then with a fighter archetype and then
you flipped it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Best way to learn something.
Yeah.
Do it.
So
To do more.
again, like this isn't a good example. This follower ability is equal to the discounted version of class abilities that we get from archetypes. So again, we're building our.
I want to see you do an entire short pod episode
Comparables.
on this exact sort of thing.
Oh, how to
Just like for each class, just kind of break it down to that.
how to reverse engineer game design from a system, compare and contrast, create comparables.
Well, there's sort of like it's like an FAQ, you know? People want to know how to make the same 10 fucking things. If you get 100 people, they're going to say the same 10 things.
Yeah.
We'll do it.
If you get 30 people in a room, there's a 99% chance
The fire department will show up?
No, that's actually 50 people plus in Portland.
Oh, okay.
I learned that recently because I'm doing this event called OFCC, and if your event space in Portland isn't made for events, when it goes over 50 people, you have to get the fire marshal approval.
That's his cover story. It's really because Jacques sneaks into his window late at night and whispers these things into his ears.
So
Jacques Wisdom.
The sharpshooter's ability is take aim. 2 actions. Sharpshooter takes aim, gets a +2 circumstance bonus to their attack roll. So again, like when you want to create your own shit, you really just need to take all the other options into context and then build something in that same vein, right? One of the biggest problems with third-party material used to be that it was either too powerful or too weak.
Sure.
Because there was no real good game design philosophy behind it.
Baseline to work from.
Exactly. Yeah. In Pathfinder 2nd edition, they've done an excellent job of controlling the power level across all of these classes and abilities and stuff like that so that there's no creep.
Yep.
There's no power creep. I cannot stress there is some power creep. I won't lie to you.
Is it power creep or is it just a tiny bit of bloat at this point?
Well, bloat and power creep are kind of the same thing in many ways.
Okay.
The more options you get, there's a small chance that a writer writes something that's just a little more powerful than what's written before. And the constraints of the system can make it so that that's very rare or very common. In Pathfinder 1st edition, the probability of that happening was very high.
Right.
Because there wasn't a very tight math system in place. Because that math system was written, in the 90s, and they borrowed it from 3.5.
Game design was very different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
legacy baggage.
Every time you publish a new piece of material, there's a small chance that the boundary gets pushed a little bit without editors noticing, without writers realizing it until it's too late.
I think there's 100% chance of that. The thing is are there any stopgaps that push back?
Yeah. Are there any stopgaps that push back? And of those stopgaps that push back, 1% of those things will slip through, or a small percentage of them will eventually,
whatever the number is,
will even get past the stopgaps.
Yeah.
And
they were definitely more deliberately cautious of that this time around.
Yes. And
hopefully Starfinder 2E is going to be even more so.
This is my point, actually.
Yeah.
Like the stopgaps to power creep are very, very good in Pathfinder 2nd edition.
That's the wrong word. I don't know why I said that, but
it's okay. Yeah. So all of that to say, when you're reverse engineering Pathfinder 2nd edition, it's much more easy.
Yeah.
Because every feat has its own category. Each category of feat and ability are largely there's a clear hierarchy that when you just spend a decent amount of time learning the system, you can figure out pretty systematically. I would love for the Paizo designers to write a book on the design philosophy of second edition so that us third-party people could create things in line with their philosophy so that we don't have to reverse engineer it.
Sure.
They've done that in a lot of places, like the how to make your own monster, how to make your own trap, and that kind of stuff. I want them to do that for everything else. How to make your own class, so on and so forth. So I won't belabor this point anymore. Eric his number 4 ended up being my number 1. So we've talked about this for like a long time, but the commander's dope. It allows for a lot of cool stories that we couldn't have told before. And
it's better than the Bard.
The math is super tight. That's the tactician, right? Or no, the commander.
There's no tactician.
The commander and the what? What is this? The captain.
Yeah.
The captain is super tight and I love it.
Commanders have tactics. I think that's why you keep going to tactician.
Yeah, these words are hard.
Yeah.
All right.
Categories.
Oh my gosh. So anyway, we love the commander.
Yeah.
He's rad.
Yep. I'm going to get just a tiniest bit woo-woo, and I promise to keep it brief. Battle vehicles. I love them.
Is that your number 3?
Yeah, I love them. I love them dearly. It's either number 3 or number 2. I don't know where we are at this point. The reason why I like them is you can create mechanics to build around a story. Chicken or egg.
Yep.
You can build a story to wrap around mechanics. How often is it you get a rule system or a subsystem where you can do both and everybody at the table gets to play their mind movie, whichever of the two ways they want? So we all know Firefly. Okay. If they were in any other ship, would that show be the same?
Absolutely not.
The USS Enterprise in Star Trek.
Yeah.
Halo, the Master Chief and his Warthog.
Right.
There is no one Warthog. Every Warthog in that fucking franchise, it's the same Warthog. So there's no identity to it.
Right.
When you have a story first and you build mechanics around it, you're building around an identity. You can't do that with Magic fucking Missile. There's no story to Magic Missile to build around. So Magic Missile, an example of a mechanic that you build around a story. But what if you could? What would that look like? Totally different subject, totally different conversation. I love battle vehicles because battle vehicles let you either have the Nautilus in 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, where all of the people who man it and then drive that submarine through the ocean and go on these adventures, everybody has emotional buy-in to the vehicle.
Yeah.
And the vehicle isn't just a static entity.
It
has
character.
mechanisms.
Yeah.
It has its own backstory, maybe even its own heritage, maybe its own background, if we want to take the metaphor that far. So the setting as character is something that the vehicular part of the Pathfinder 2nd Edition experience, for me, it really shines. So if we're playing our Shitty Dwarves game, and there are 3 out of 5 players at the table who are like, I just love that we have these fucking rad-ass vehicles that burrow through the sand and grasshopper their way across the desert. And 2 out of 3 of those players are like, yeah, we could be playing, in the middle of Kansas. And I like the fact that there are 2 actions that let it, get down underneath the ground. And for that 3rd action, I can hibernate and do X, Y, Z. Everybody's getting their needs met.
Right.
Nobody has to lose with vehicles. You don't get that with the Bard.
It's like a yin yang where they kind of spin around each other ad nauseum instead of one being the center and the other being
and they're
the outer
both
ring.
getting their needs met.
Yeah.
Because it's not like the yang is this big and the yin is this big or vice versa. So I keep going back to the idea of the Bard. The more they release in 2nd edition, the less I like the Bard.
Damn.
The less I like, not passive support, but static support, static activity, static. I want movement. I want verbs. I want the game state to be altered in some way that is not necessarily predictable, but is probable based on the numbers I have on my character sheet.
Okay.
Bards don't do that.
Right.
I hate the Bard.
You could
More and more I hate the Bard, which is shitty because in 2nd edition in D&D, I was sucking Bard dick all day long. I love the Bard in 2E.
I think
I
after
don't like
Critical
them in
Role
Pathfinder 2nd
and,
edition.
Baldur's Gate, everyone sucks Bard dick. All right?
Well, we've learned a few lessons since The Bard's Tale
Yeah.
in 1989. I don't know when it was.
They're all horny.
When you couldn't see his face.
Those bards are all horny.
Yeah. But yeah, vehicles are just fucking rad. And we've got like 30 vehicles in this book.
It's crazy.
How many did Guns and Gears have? If a dozen?
I think it actually
I don't even think that many.
I think it had the same amount, but a lot of them were the boring vehicles we all know and love because we had to
They had to
have
start
them.
somewhere. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
They're like the fighter, cleric, rogue versions of
the
vehicles.
carriage. Okay, I guess I guess I needed rules for that.
Yeah.
You know, because you guys just invented the rules for driving vehicles.
Oh, the Ninja Turtle van. That was another example I had.
Yeah.
They could be driving any old fucking VW bus and it just wouldn't be the same. This motherfucker has rockets. Why does it have rockets? Because there's a man rhino and a man warthog over there, and my little slingshot isn't going to be enough to take them down. We need rockets up here in this bitch. That's story informing mechanics, not mechanics informing story.
I love that.
So yeah, I tried to make a connection between Zelda and the hang glider.
Yeah.
And what do they call them? Those really cool night gliders in Battlecry that they had.
Yeah.
There's like 6 soldiers are on a single glider,
Right.
and you insert yourself in the dead of the night, like you're SEAL Team 6 or something. It's a targeted experience that is social, not individual.
All right, I gotta be a little nerdy here. SEAL teams generally come in through a water access. That's why they're SEALs.
Mhm.
Air access is the airborne, which is generally the Rangers.
Right.
Or the special forces from there.
Yeah, but the SEALs don't like burrow from under the ground and pop up under the Mariana Trench.
Anyway, I'm a little nerdy about that stuff.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But yeah, with Link and his glider, that's a fun experience for me.
Totally.
But the glider doesn't define him.
Yeah.
Firefly, the ship, defines the crew. And that's everything to me. USS Enterprise defines the crew. In fact, any Star Trek ship, if you go through all of the series, you're not going to confuse one for the other.
Absolutely.
Nobody's going to say, well, Star Trek Next Generation is the same as Deep Space Nine. They're both spaceships.
It's so funny. My mom was a huge Trekkie, and I kind of experienced Star Trek through that lens.
Nerdy osmosis.
I got to watch a lot of them with her, and especially the newer ones I would watch when I was a kid with her as they were coming out. And I named all of my spaceships in Factorio after the spaceships from
that's adorable.
Yeah.
Can I give you my one example I wanted to draw on that we did not talk about last episode?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, so it's a level 20 vehicle called the Cavern Crawler.
Yep.
Thematic as fuck. So it's rare as gargantuan. It costs 210,000 gold pieces. This massive undead vehicle is created.
It's undead. That's
by
right.
crafting a piloting and cargo compartment within the husk of a massive cave worm.
So crazy.
And then infusing the remains with void energy.
It's
this compartment,
such a crazy idea.
It's fucking wacko. It's a Mork Borg. It's absolutely Mork Borg on our D&D. Infusing the remains with void energy. This compartment, tiny compartment, in this big ass worm, has breathable air as well as sealable weapon ports, designed specifically to burrow under and then behind enemy positions. Cavern crawlers can attack enemies on their flank or bring supplies and reinforcements to troops deep behind enemy lines. It's 100 feet long, 30 feet wide, 30 feet high, 1 pilot, 3 crew, 30 passengers. Piloting check or driving lore, yada, yada, yada. 20th level pluses, nobody cares. Object immunities, nobody cares. This is where my Dune, I get my Dune rocks off.
Eat people ability?
3 actions, swallow.
Yes.
2 crew members each perform a 3-action activity on their turn to open the carrion crawler's mouth and eat a huge or smaller creature adjacent to the creature who must attempt numbers. The creature can choose to fail. On a failure, the creature is swallowed by the cavern crawler, moved into the passenger bay, and knocked prone.
I love
the
this
action
so much.
fails if the passenger bay is full. You get the fuck out. We need this guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tunnel. The cavern crawler can burrow through solid stone, blah, 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 blah. So
how cool would it be to be like, you're deep in your enemy position, right? You just did some guerrilla warfare shit. You blew up the base, but now everyone knows your position and you're running away. You've dropped your bag. So it's just whatever you have on your belt and your gun or your weapons, and you're running away from the enemy. And then all of a sudden, underneath of you, a sandworm comes and swallows you and then digs back down into the underground.
Yeah.
And the opposing army who's chasing you is just like,
yeah,
what the fuck just happened?
It's like Jaws with sand in his ass crack. So
but you were saved by your friends coming to scoop you up out of nowhere.
And nobody knows. Yeah.
And they don't even realize it. That's so cool.
That's fucking rad. And another thing where my brain went and the reason why I picked this. So on our Patreon, we're building up our setting. Yeah. And one of them, one of the biomes we've been working on is the Arcane Desert. And the big thing about that is I took the lion's share of my inspiration from Battlestar Galactica, the reboot.
Okay.
So the idea of who's the Cylon? For us, it's who's the illusion, who is real appearing, but not quite. So this, there are 30 people in here and one pilot and like 3 crew and 30 people in here in the desert. And we're all alone in the night together. Which one of us is the betrayer? House on Haunted Hill, Dead of Winter, board games.
Yeah.
Which one of us is not who they seem? A haunted house, a murder mystery, how to host a murder. It captures that vibe of paranoia. This is a fucking vehicle with numbers.
And claustrophobia.
It shouldn't do that, but it does.
It's a tiny space.
Yeah. So these numbers I just read to you, you probably heard them as numbers. And you told a really good story where the numbers were irrelevant.
I mean, you just said numbers, so yeah, I heard them as numbers.
Yeah. But everything I just said had nothing to do with the numbers, except you can fit like 33, 34 people in this vessel underground where no one can hear you scream.
Like a submarine.
Vehicles.
Exactly.
Do this. Magic Missile cannot do this. Having a pet cannot do this. I can't stress this enough. Battle Cry is changing the way I see Pathfinder 2nd Edition.
I love that. I love to hear that.
I'm ready to move on.
Dude, you've totally fucked my top 10. Like you already took two of my number 2 and number 1.
What'd I leave you with?
So we're gonna talk about the field propagandist next.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the head. When I come back, the game state's gonna be exactly the same, isn't it?
Okay, so the field propaganda. I'm surprised you didn't pick this as one of yours.
I can't even say I considered it, but I appreciated it.
These are so much better. Eric coded.
Yeah.
Like the field propagandist is literally a love letter to Eric.
I might go back and rewrite my Blastercaster from Age of Ashes to archetype this.
So at first you're like, oh, field propagandist. What is it? Oh, it's obviously a skill-only archetype that makes you really good at exploration activities where you talk to people. Mm-hmm. Wrong. That's only half of the class.
Mm-hmm. What's the other half, Robert?
Badass fucking debuffs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Debuffs. Talk to me about debuffs who are not witches.
They are hilarious, these debuffs, because they do things that are really good for incredibly silly reasons.
Talk to me about debuffs that are not bards.
Fabricate truth. Mm-hmm. 1 action, 4th level feat. You invent a false truth by fast talking, switching arguments, shifting the standard of evidence, and generally confounding others. Choose a creature within 30 feet that you are aware of. Attempt a deception check against that target's will DC. Regardless of your result, that target is temporarily immune. Blah, blah, blah. On a crit success, stupefied 2 for 1 round. On a regular success, stupefied 1 for 1 round. This is like alternative Bon Mot for deception skills. Mm-hmm. It's a little worse than Bon Mot because the success has a worse outcome, but stupefied is also a wider effect. Mm-hmm. It's not just will saves, it's a wider effect. So that on its own, I was like, as I was reading through this archetype, I was like, oh, okay, Paizo. Mm-hmm. I see you. I see you putting in some actual good crunch that's tactful and important to actual combats, in addition to the field propagandist dedication ability, which basically allows you to spend your downtime activities creating lies in a community. Mm-hmm. That's kind of fucking cool. But like you get this in addition.
Yeah. It's Alex Jones in the wrestling ring.
Literally. And then they have like 3 other in combat actions that are all really good. 2 6th level feats and 1 8th level feat. Invented vulnerability. This is fucking hilarious. You list off potential fears and weaknesses of an enemy you can see or hear, speaking with such certainty that they become real. Attempt a deception check against the enemy's will DC. Select bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage. Regardless of your result, it's immune. Critical success. The target gains weakness to the selected type of damage equal to 3 plus half your level for 1 round. The target, on a success, the target gains weakness 5. So, like, somehow he's also a baby thaumaturge?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I swear to God, if Ben knew this was a thing, he would have said, fuck Shadow Dancer.
Absolutely.
I'm going into Edgewatch with this.
Absolutely.
Because he's doing this kind of shit.
It's hilarious.
Hey, I want to start a rumor.
It's hilarious. Invincible Army is also really fucking cool. You basically, the target gains resistance 5 to bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing by convincing your opponents that, like, your dudes are super strong and tough and they can't be hurt. They get resistance to damage somehow. And then finally, the last battle tactic. There's a bunch of other feats that have out of combat abilities that are also really cool. I won't get into those, but I will say that they're actually really fucking dope and thematic and useful outside of a wartime campaign, which I really love. A Tale to Believe In. Level 8 feat, 1 action. You recite a tale of prowess that rewrites the combat unfolding around you. You attempt a counteract check against a mental effect that's currently affecting an ally within 30 feet using deception for the counteract check. Bro literally convinces you you're not crazy by lying to you.
This entire fucking book is a Magic Blue deck.
What?
Everything is counter in this book.
I don't know what's going on here. So, believe it or not, from a mechanical
psychological warfare, it's amazing.
Exactly.
I love it.
And they gave, what I love about this, it reminds me of when they came up with in the occult book where they gave feats to all this pseudoscience and made it actual magic.
Yeah.
Like the
occult adventures.
Exactly. Like finding
the mesmerist
water
and all that.
And like color therapy actually has like actually heals you.
That was such a bonkers era.
I love that. And that's what this reminds me of.
Yeah.
So my number 5, because Eric wouldn't let me get to it. Fucker.
Hey, I've got 2 left. I don't know how many you have left.
Is Field Propagandist. It's fucking rad.
It's good.
It's not good. Something I would ever see myself picking in a game that I've played so far.
It's a very specific experience and a very specific campaign or series of adventures.
I try not to play charisma characters anymore because I'm such a bogard of the mic at a table. I want to limit my ability to like be the guy leading the whole game. But the next time I'm given the opportunity, you bet your ass I'm playing.
Yeah, I want the void filled. I don't care if it's me or not.
I'm playing a thaumaturge. Actually, a thaumaturge field propagandist wouldn't actually be that good.
I was thinking psychic because of your ability to do dream intervention and shit like that.
Yeah. That's actually
just whispering sweet nothings into your sweet everythings, sweet lies into your subconscious.
Exactly. So yeah, that's my number.
Can we talk about Whetstones a little bit because I've had a few more days to think about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
These made it onto your top 5?
It did.
Okay, please tell us.
Okay, so we all know that everybody shits on talismans. And when I say everybody, what I mean is Robert. Robert shits on talismans.
Consumables in general are pretty mid.
Yeah, you have diarrhea of the talisman. So the reason why I like Whetstones is it's the flip of the coin to talismans. Okay. Talismans are strategic. You pick the one you know you're going to need as you're hurtling headway towards encounter mode. All of your encounter modes you go to from day to day to day because you know the campaign you're in, because you know the theme you're dealing with. Hey, we're in an undead spooky campaign. Okay, my talismans are going to be involving lycanthropy, ghosts, undead, holy, void, that kind of shit. If you're doing anything else, it's anything else. Kingmaker. I need to be able to climb shit, swim
Outdoor
through
stuff.
shit, dig through shit. Yeah. You know, I got to be a scout, an Eagle Scout. So you sort of strategically plan accordingly. With these aren't strategic selections. These are tactical selections. Okay, we are in the mire now. What do we do now? Because our plan just went out the fucking window. Well, what do we have access to? It's not, can we use all the things we brought with us, but this isn't anything we planned for. So tactically, how do we get from this vehicle to that vehicle without being shot? That's what Whetstones do. They recreate that thriller storyline.
How do they do that mechanically?
Mechanically. So the first thing is you don't have to invest it.
Right.
Talismans, you have to invest before you even get there. Otherwise, you just don't get it. And you only have so many investments. So you're limited. That's why it's strategic. You don't know what you're up against. You're just taking your best guess.
It's like a weapon oil.
Yeah. So this, you can have a portable hole full of 5 million, like one of every single kind of these. And you're like, you pull it out and you use it. So that kind of flexibility is squarely in the realm of tactical decisions.
Okay.
That changes the nature of the player's relationship to the battle grid before you show up to the session, during the session, and after you leave the session. So you mentioned numbers here.
I just want to know, I want you to explain to the goblins what the mechanics are and why they're mechanically interesting.
Because they affect weapons, and weapons are in combat. So if you're climbing a tree, that can be in combat, that can be in adventure mode, that can even be in downtime. It just doesn't really matter. But when you use this, it's literally called a whetstone. Whetstones are literally used for weapons. They sharpen weapons. They make them so that so that they're maximally effective when you're ready to run them through somebody. So you use them on clubs, you use them on swords, you use them on weapons primarily. I'm sure there's exceptions, but it's basically weapons. They're temporary weapon enhancements. I think of them as like temporary pocket sand. They're the surprise element.
All right.
In the middle of combat, because you don't have to invest the goddamn thing.
Right.
When you go into a battlefield arena,
doesn't it take time to apply them though?
It does. It takes an action usually.
Okay.
Almost all of them I saw take an action.
An action, but not like a minute.
No,
Okay.
nothing like that. No. It's a one and done thing right now.
Right.
Like I made the decision, and within here in 6 seconds, I have triggered its effect, and the other person has suffered the effects.
To grab your whetstone, action to activate it on your weapon, and then boom, you have the solution to your problem. And they generally only last what? 1 round?
Like
or
an
like a minute.
action, and it varies depending on what it is, but typically a round.
All right.
Again, I haven't memorized this whole book 8 days ago.
Yeah.
But I'll just take a look at the example I have here. So I've got an item level 6. It's called Pinpoint Arrowhead. They're all consumables, by the way, because talismans. One and done. Magical Whetstone. Prize 44 gold pieces. One-handed bulk L. Is that light or large? That's light. Okay. So it's almost nothing. Activate 1. It's a manipulate action.
Yep.
So that matters for some folks.
Sorry. Reactionary strikes.
Yeah.
Don't come for me.
And at level 6, that's not nothing.
Yep.
Anyhow, this metal arrowhead is sharp at the tip, but never draws the blood of its user. When you attempt a ranged strike with the weapon under the effect of a pinpoint arrowhead, you treat any cover the target has as 1 degree less. For example, treat standard cover as lesser cover and lesser cover as no cover. And for the love of Christ, do not give this to hobgoblins.
Oh, yeah, baby.
So this is...
Hobgoblin Archer. Fucking DMs, look that shit up. It's nasty.
Yeah. So this right here, if you are spelunking in a cave, you're not going to take this as a talisman. You're just not. Because you only have so much room, so many investment slots. But what happens if you go into a cave and you go down and you spelunk and you go down to the lower levels and all of a sudden you're in the fucking land of the lost and it's jungle and there's dinosaurs and wide open spaces? Your talismans don't mean shit. Your strategy doesn't mean shit. Tactical application. That takes us from this weird sort of heroic power fantasy of I control the before, which allows me to manipulate the shit out of the middle and have a semi-predetermined outcome, into it almost doesn't matter what I plan. I just hope for the best. And then I get into the middle of it. And then I better make sure that in the first round of combat, I have a really good assessment of 100% of my character sheet. And I have to trust that all 4 of you assholes around the table have done the same on your end. Because we all have whetstones, right? Exactly. It's more intense and it's thriller. It's not adventure. It's thriller. There's this idea of being behind the 8 ball when you're that close to the decision point.
Right.
You don't get that in a strategy game. You get that in an action game, a thriller game. And by removing talismans and inserting whetstones, you change the action economy.
Mm-hmm.
You would change the preparation for battle conversations around the table. Everything changes. The meta of the game changes with this book. And this is one of the item categories that I'm going to keep using going forward to help reinforce that argument that I'm going to continue to hopefully make stronger as we go.
Got it.
That's why it hit my list. More because it's a design opportunity.
Yeah, I'm like rapidly reading these again just to refresh my memory. Sure. It took me a second to find the page. And they're all one action to activate, which is important.
Yep.
And it looks like they all have an effect that's almost instantaneous.
Yep.
A good example of the good counterexample of that is Featherlight Fletchling. Basically, the last sentence, a ranged weapon under the effects of the Featherlight Fletchling doubles its range increment for 1 minute. So some of these abilities are instantaneous. Others last for the rest of the fight, but that's it.
And I don't know how that maths between the two, but that's a conversation for another time. Just the fact that it's not a binary, there's space between the significance of the duration of the effects. That's interesting to me. And that closes the gap between Warhammer, the tactical war game, and Pathfinder, the role-playing tactical role-playing game. The gap is shortened between those two with the addition of design choices like this specifically.
Right.
Are these any good? Will anybody choose them? Are you going to spend 44 gold pieces for the opportunity to fuck around with enclosures one time, one and done? Probably not, unless you're in a convention game or a one-off. But that's the point. If you're doing a one-off, you get this experience. If you're doing a campaign, you might want this experience when you get to a very specific point in the campaign.
So important here, this is really important to the balance of your whetstone.
What do you got?
This is what I thought. I just had to reread it to remember. Whetstones are once per basically battle abilities.
Yes.
Not once per battle abilities. They're abilities that only happen, they're abilities that you can use in a battle for the whole battle. So whetstones always use one action. They are applied with one hand. If you're wielding a two-handed weapon, you can do it all the same. And they last for a minute unless otherwise noted. This is what I thought I remembered.
All right.
So they always last for a minute.
Yeah, because there's a fast healing one, and that's, a minute.
You proactively use whetstones instead of reactively using them with talismans. Talismans are almost always reactive.
That's another key distinction. Yeah, you're right.
And that gives power to the player. While these are all very niche, you can build your character around or alongside some of these whetstones to enhance them in different situations.
Yeah.
So it's almost like this reminds me of the archer character who has a bandolier, not a bandolier, but a quiver.
A quiver?
Full of different interesting arrows that they can use for different situations.
Yeah.
That's what whetstones offer.
You're a martial arts guy, so for some reason, and this may be erroneous, I think of these guys as the aggressive martial art that's attack first. And I think of talismans as the Aikido.
Okay, yeah.
And that's, having the choice between the two, having a GM that says, I'm going to write an adventure that is more proactive, where everybody's on their back foot. A gothic horror adventure. They're going to want talismans. I'm going to write an adventure that's more like a pulp adventure, Indiana Jones, where there's just fisticuffs and we punch Nazis in the face in Portland when the Proud Boys come to town. That's not talismans. That's whetstones. And these are very specific decisions that I believe belong in session 0.
Yeah, absolutely. Forward. Yeah, 100%. I love this as a category choice. I was really surprised that you chose this in the first place.
Okay. I was too, and I'm really happy I did.
That's awesome.
Otherwise, I would have had to talk about the Necrologist.
You
got any more?
We covered.
I got one more.
The banners.
Banners.
We covered the captain. We covered the field propagandist. I have 2 things left because they're all totally out of fucking order.
The first half and the second half of the Gazetteer chapter.
No.
Fuck. I'm so bad at this.
Next, we're going to talk about the Guerrilla. Worst art in the whole book.
Okay. I have nothing bad to say about it, but I have nothing good to say about it.
Worst art in the whole book. It's just dude covered in... I'm pretty sure it's not a Leshy. I thought at first I was like, oh, this is a weird looking Leshy. No, this isn't Leshy. This is dude covered in leaves. That's the art for it. So this is like my number 4.
Which is fucking brilliant, by the way.
This is my 4th pick. It's like super up there. So this class has got some really powerful sneaking and hiding buffs that I was not expecting out of an archetype. maybe I'm just not up to snuff on the sneaking meta of Pathfinder.
Okay.
And I just have been ignoring it for a long time, which is probably
everybody who plays rogues is screaming into the TV right now.
Of course. Oh, this isn't original, Robert. They're just reusing this from other classes. If that's true, let me know in the comments. Because some of the shit that they get is like really powerful.
Yeah.
The Guerrilla gets a lot of, you just get this kind of abilities. The Guerrilla gets a lot of, if you're successful, you're just hidden to them, regardless of whatever happened. So long as you succeeded your sneak attempt before and you hit them, you're just still hidden. That's like,
if that doesn't change the meta, you're just fucking lying to yourself.
Being able to ignore the possibility of failure, to me, is just OP.
Like combine that with the item example we just talked about that ignores concealment.
Yeah.
These are all battle cry themes that they're just hammering on, things that happen on the battlefield. Yeah.
So incredibly powerful sneaking buffs that I've never seen anywhere else. Again, I could be missing other things. I've also started, I can't remember, I think it was maybe brought up in the Discord by the Goblins, but someone recently was writing about the Alchemist online, specifically the Poisoner. I think I was like reading an old Reddit thread or something, but they talked about, or maybe it was a meme, where they talked about all the classic alchemist archetypes, archetypal alchemists, I should say. You know, the bomber, the chirurgeon, the mutagenist. Those are typical. And then they added like the poisoner, and it was like, oh, they made them good in 2nd edition. And then when you dig down underneath the surface, you're like, wait, this is still bad.
That was my understanding when Advanced Player Guides came out.
It's super complicated. They made it a little better in 2nd edition, but there are 2 or 3 feats in the Guerrilla that I think actually probably make it a lot more viable as a class. So this is one of those things where I have to pick a class and an archetype just to make my class viable. Yes.
That says something.
However, if you're one of the Johnnies out there like me and you don't care about what it takes, you just want to make this cool niche idea viable mechanically, we're here, baby.
Do it.
Guerrilla weaponry. You're especially skilled in transforming simple weapons that can be easily assembled from readily available materials into deadly weapons. In your hands, a blowgun's base damage increases from 1d4 from 1 to 1d4, and it gains the deadly d4 trait.
Nice.
And then you get a 1 action attack called Guerrilla Assault, all in the same feat, mind you, level 4 feat. You interact to reload a sling or blowgun, which is like a big focus on the Guerrilla, is blowgun or slings. If the strike is successful and you are undetected or unnoticed by the target, when you made an attack, you are now hidden from the target after the attack, as they cannot tell where the attack came from. Eric is putting, for the listeners out there, Eric is putting a big Guerrilla mini. I have, and he's putting it right in front of the camera. It's not focusing because Eric doesn't know how focusing works on my camera. Oh, there you go. No, the focus point is on your face, where your face would be in the frame. So anyway.
Keep going. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good. He also gets venomous weapons at 8th level. Basically, I love the Guerrilla. They have a bunch of crazy sneaking shit that like makes the poisoner archetype, I think, viable. And I would love to see.
You will if you ever run that 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse game again.
I would love to see this archetype in action with the poisoner. I kind of just want to run a poisoner alchemist at like a medium level campaign, a 1-shot or a 2-shot or like a 3-shot, where I can just try this out and test drive it, because I think it has a lot of cool legs.
Yeah, one of the reasons why I played that particular character in your 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse game is because I just knew, because everybody was shitting on it at the time, that sooner or later they were going to fix the toxicologist option in there. Yeah. And slowly but surely, and they're kind of doing it. And you said you found 3 options in here that make it viable?
About 3 that really add to the viability.
Okay, cool. So when all of this, what the fuck is this? Occidental Brewing Company, Hefeweizen, is finished going through my system, I want you to bring those 3 up. Because I got character building to do.
Sweet, we got our last pick and then we're done, Eric.
Are we?
An hour and a half to the episode.
Sweet. Okay, so on the count of 3, we both call them at the same time. Ready?
Yes.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Skirmish
Multi-class
warfare.
commander.
You put commander and multi-class commander.
No, I didn't put commander. Captain. Remember, now you're the one getting them mixed up.
Not a tactician.
Yes, not a
Talk about commander, because that's what everybody wants to hear about.
Okay, multi-class commander is OP. Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, don't say that. Kyle might not let me have it.
I'll read you my notes.
Don't listen, Kyle. Don't listen to anything he has to say.
Some multi-class archetypes don't include a great version of the ability of the core class ability because it might be overpowered.
God damn it.
This is not the case. You get access to a very limited number of tactics and commands, but they are genuinely the same as what you get from the class. This is a pretty insane combination with other classes. So
this is pretty mid.
There are really good examples of this, and there are really bad examples of this. But the one they point out in the book is the Bard commander. You know, Eric just shitted on Bards for an hour and a half.
My chat quotient has been met.
A great example is the Bard. A commander. No, not a cat. Yeah, commander Bard. Not a captain, a commander.
Sure. No tactician.
No tactician. A commander Bard with the Bard archetype would be kind of mid because as the Bard archetype, you don't get access to +1 bonus for everyone. You don't get access to Bardic Performance's general buff to the area. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong.
Because they don't stack?
Let me know in the comments. No, you just don't get it.
Okay.
The archetype does not give you access to the core ability of the class.
Yep, of course. Yep, I'm with you.
Because that would be OP.
Yep, absolutely.
But what does the commander do? Give you access to the full version of the core ability, except you only get like one of them, and your spell book full of commands or tactics is super limited. But you still get the genuine thing.
Minus the ability to affect people's saves.
Well, yeah, you don't get a fucking banner.
That's not nothing.
It's +1.
Kyle, that's not nothing.
To will saves and fear effects. The real thing we're coming to the commander for is being able to let people act out of turn.
Yes.
And there are a couple tactics that are a little better than the others.
Yes, there are. I've been reading them for a few days. 8 to be specific.
Imagine having a Bard. This isn't even one of the really good ones.
Mm-hmm.
This is just one of the obvious ones. So we have a Bard commander, right?
Mm-hmm.
One action.
No,
Bardic
we
performance.
don't, but yes.
Yeah. One action Bardic Performance. Everyone gets a +1. You have a fighter in your party. 2 actions. Person in your party gets to use a reaction to make an extra attack. Done.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, that fighter has attack of opportunity, but it's not guaranteed that their opponent is going to let them use it. This is guaranteeing an extra attack at full map with now a +1 Bardic Performance automatically for your dude.
Right. And it costs all 3 of your actions to do it, which means you're not swinging at anybody as a martial class.
Well, you're a caster. You never fucking swing at anything anyway. The fighter sure as shit swinging at stuff. I would rather spend my 2 actions letting the fighter swing at full map against something one more time in a turn than me trying to swing at something.
Yeah, that's why I took it.
The only alternative use for my 2 actions is to cast a spell.
Mm-hmm.
And sure, I'm a full caster. I've got great spells. But commanders don't have a limited number of tactics per day. They can just keep telling the fighter to do his job, and he does. So the professional finger pointer, a la the commander.
But if they do that, they can't move. So they're kind of stuck in the same spot. The idea of movement being a part of your mobility math in this.
So maybe you're taking one of the commands.
You're sacrificing your mobility for your compatriots to have it.
Sure. Maybe you're taking one of the 1 action commands that tell all of your friends to move.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So my point is, what was odd to me is that in a way that makes it powerful, is that the commander doesn't get a discounted version of sneak attack. You know, Bard, the rogue sneak attack damage is only 1d4 and it barely scales.
Mm-hmm.
The full rogue sneak attack damage is 1d4 and it scales good. So normally you expect these class archetypes, which are generally, just for the goblins at home, class archetypes are less powerful, generally speaking, than
100%.
Regular archetypes. You generally expect them to have their full kit neutered into nothing. And you barely get access to these multi-class archetypes, and they kind of supplement your main class, but they're not the full shebang. In this case, you're getting the fucking commander class ability full stop, just like one of them.
Not full stop, but yeah.
Full stop.
You're getting enough of it.
The thing we care about is tactics. And
the thing you care about is the tactics.
Goblins.
The ability to affect saving throws is not a small thing in a class or even an archetype.
Yeah, but like when we come to the commander, it's like we care about the main class feature that matters,
right?
That we're all going to be focusing on is tactics.
Right.
So it's very rare for the main thing that a class is focusing on in an archetype to get the full version of it, to get the full potency of it. They often get a lesser potency of the full shebang.
Right.
And that's what we got here. And that's why it's really interesting to me. That's why it's really powerful.
Okay.
That was my number 3. We're all over the place this episode. You didn't get 10. I'm sorry, Goblins, but you know.
Hey, there's only 5 things to talk about in this book.
Eric and I ended up picking a lot of the same stuff, which is actually pretty rare for a book. Which speaks to the quality of Battlecry, in my opinion. As we said at the beginning of the podcast.
Limitations
so Eric,
of the subject matter.
Finish us out. What's your last pick for the book?
Well, we talked about it last episode, but I want to talk about it more, damn it, because again, seriously, there's only 5 things to talk about in this book. Skirmish Warfare, page 158. Let's turn our hymnals to 158.
Remember, this is a player option.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a good one. So remind me to say the thing I want to say when I'm done here.
Got it.
So why do I give a shit about Skirmish Warfare at all, even a little bit? I'm just going to start reading my own text because...
Notes. Let's hit it.
The Skirmish system, I feel, is a great way to bring big battles, a shift in scale, into a game without it turning you into a big fat fucking slog that hyperfaces on wargaming minutia. The minutia of wargaming drives me just batshit. And so I feel like this is an elegant solution. I was hoping to get that with Mordheim. I was hoping to get it with Necromunda. I never fucking did. Those games have very little soul to me. One Goblin's opinion. So what does that mean? Instead of just watching armies fight in the background, each of you guys, all the players around the table, get to lead a single unit of troops, your own unit. And you get to make meaningful decisions on the battlefield. In a game of Warhammer, you have like a commander, and then you have all the other squads. But in here, it's like you have 4 or 5 commanders with almost like a, what would you call it? Like a kaleidoscopic mosaic presentation of the war story. Again, we're back to the idea of not a Bruce Willis story, but a West Wing story where we have not an entourage. What was the word I used?
Ensemble.
An ensemble, thank you. One of those E words. Anyhow, you get to make meaningful decisions on the battlefield and watch others do the same thing as the camera is focusing on them. I believe it adds tension, strategy, and really cool singular moments where your specific character's leadership really shines. Motherfucker, where did you go?
I want to point out that in modern Warhammer, Warhammer 10th edition right now, commanders attach to units of like 5 to 10 guys, or 20, in some cases, which is actually a lot more reminiscent of how the skirmish system kind of works.
That makes sense.
You have one player, which is a commander type, a leader unit, buffing a big unit of dudes who then go out and fight.
Yeah, that's this.
That's what this is. Yeah, exactly.
I wonder if I made my bones on 5th edition Warhammer. So between like 6 and 72, whatever they're up to now.
We're up to 10.
10 a year.
10th edition. We get a new edition.
You fuckers in England.
I know.
Yeah.
You fucking
Get
English.
out of my wallet.
You fucking English.
Anyhow, the short answer, short, haha, too late. Skirmish Warfare makes moments of war exciting and personal. Large-scale armies are an impersonal, clinical spreadsheet understanding of the historical significance of wartime. Getting in the trenches, first-person perspective, means your commander figure needs to be with the troops. Roll up their shirt sleeves, get down in there, and have the RP moments as you're rolling the +1, -2, +3, -4, as you're doing all that shit. This skirmish system does that. So each character gets to pick a group of troops to command. You get to do one of two things. You do a quick 10-minute prep ahead of time with your troops, and you get X ability. Or you can spend an entire day with them. Say you're like with your archers for an entire 8 hours a day, doing drills. You unlock a special ability. So if you don't see it coming, your skirmish has a very different feel than if, oh no, we got raided overnight, just like we're about to do in Sandpoint right now, because we just don't have time to get our troops ready. That changes, that creates dynamism where before there was just a static element to how combat is presented.
They could have given us one ability with one time frame. Instead, they gave us two completely different abilities. One is a static bonus most of the time.
Yeah.
The other one is a really cool dynamic ability in two very different time frames.
Yeah, and when I was playing Warhammer, when I was playing War Machine, Mutant Chronicles way back when I was 15, all of those war games, if you wanted to have a different experience, you picked a different rule set. You have options.
Yeah.
And what have we been saying here at GSR for 5 years, however long we've been doing this?
Oh my God, Eric.
The difference between D&D 5e and Pathfinder 2e, it's customizable.
Yeah.
It's you get to build and customize what you want. You get to slip in rule systems. It's crunchy. You have options.
Modular.
Modular. At the end of the day, it comes down to modular. Scrabble judges out there. So I think that's important. This right here is an extension of that. We're all playing by the same rules, but you can go 10 minutes or you can go all day and do it. It changes the story. That's important.
And it also greatly affects the mechanics.
It
Some of these
does.
abilities you get for the one-day training are fucking cool.
Yeah, they really are. And if you want to just like hold out for that other one, there's that blackjack push your luck element to it if you want. So to that note, your commander and your unit, you act as a singular unit. Your commander and their troops, together, they act in combat. They move as one. They take a total of 5 actions. This gets me back to the thing I was getting ready to talk about with the druid and the ranger animal companions. Not the troops, the other ones, the followers, is you start dealing with the math of action economy that we've already been introduced to. We understand the rule of 3. And if we have an animal companion, we understand the rule of 4. But with this, you have the rule of 5. But it's the same fucking thing. You can choose to have your PC take 3 actions like normal and your troops take 2 actions. Or you can sacrifice one as a PC, have your PC take 2 and have your troops take 3. That kind of flexibility creates dynamism where before it was static.
See, this is why I know why Paizo decided not to go this way.
Mm-hmm.
Paizo could have made Pathfinder a base 5 action system. And just made spell casting cost 3 actions instead of 2 actions. So on and so forth. You guys get the idea. They chose 3 because move standard swift. It was very simple, like it was very understandable. But if we lived in a base 5 system, the summoner would be a lot more palatable to me because of the way that it shares actions.
Mm-hmm.
This is a more palatable system to me. I wish we took this whole action economy system that they've applied to skirmishes and applied it to the summoner. Frankly.
I wonder if somebody on Pathfinder Infinite is doing exactly that right now.
Sure, that place is bussing with ideas like this. So your last pick is skirmishes. Huh?
It's skirmisher. Yeah, you move together, including your mounts. Yep. You share 5 actions a turn, and you divvy it up each time. That's fun and dynamic. Every time you come back from the bathroom, the game state, you have no idea what happened because it's not the same action economy.
Are we gonna have a new way we like rate the quality of stuff as you come back from the bathroom? Is that
I think so.
Is that like a scale we're going to start rating things on?
Yeah. The dynamic toilet break is what we're going to call it.
Dynamic toilet break.
The TTB system.
The TTB. Oh my God. That's also
here
the
on
name
GSR. You heard it here first.
That's also
Troop
the name
morale.
Of the alcohol.
You expect that kind of shit, right? Because wargaming. They had that here, but it's not buried in minutia.
Right.
And it's not like a bloodless +1s and -2s. I have an example here. A goblin troop gets hit hard and rolls poorly, but their leader's presence bumps the result up. They get scored. They get scared instead of running. Now, we see that through the use of banners in Pathfinder. Warhammer. At least we did back in 5th edition.
Yep.
So it's like that. But this is a role-playing game. So you get to say, pause. So as you're down in the trenches and the goblin hordes are right there with you and you're face-to-face, you get to have those really cool little cinematic, intimate one-on-one moments to sort of flesh out what the numbers mean. You don't get that in Warhammer. At least you didn't when I was running around.
Yeah,
it wasn't baked into the system.
You really don't unless you're playing a super narrative version of it.
Yeah. And it's not it's not supposed to be a cinematic system.
It's a war game. Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know if any of you are old enough to remember, and I know a lot of us are, back when they did the big old tactical mass combat skirmishes in 2nd edition, and I think maybe even 1st edition. I forgot what they call it, like Battle Line or something like that. It was basically Warhammer from the 1st edition.
It played like a war game.
It was a war game. It was a bloodless experience with no real emotional skin in the game. A
soulless experience?
For me, yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
There's no blood in the game. Like, my player character is my commander, and the game ends. I can't just pick a new commander.
Right.
My game is over if I don't make quality decisions. But if I'm playing Warhammer, I just come back tomorrow and use the same dude.
Right.
Just come back tomorrow, use the same dude. Back tomorrow, same dude. You know why? Because my fucking commander doesn't have a background.
Exactly.
Doesn't have a class. Doesn't have a long history of shitty choices in college that led to his shitty little job guarding a caravan right now and people greeting the elven nations as they walk up to the guard wagon thing.
Yeah, you're spinning a story already. Jesus Christ.
So you're always going to see this theme for me. Eric is happiest. This goblin is happiest when there are mechanics worth talking about and there is story worth talking about, and the space between them isn't so large that it creates a sort of binary conversation. I want them close. I want them neck and neck if possible. And we're not there yet in Pathfinder. We're not even close to being there yet in Pathfinder. But this, and I want to redo the entire fucking Kingmaker experience, the whole campaign, using this book.
I love
every
that.
single thing we've talked about for 2 videos in this book made me reimagine the first 5 levels of Kingmaker in a completely different mechanical and RP light.
Well, maybe that's
my character would have made so many different decisions if we'd have had these rules.
Maybe that's a project for another time.
I want to run it. This gets me excited about Kingmaker in a way. I really enjoyed playing it.
Mm-hmm.
I was excited to show up and do it because I loved my character.
Right.
This, I would be excited to show up and do it because I love the rule set.
Right.
Now, if you've been here for more than 20 minutes with me, that means something.
Deal. Yeah.
That's why I saved it as my number 1 for my list. So the Skirmish subsystem that you never have to see in a day of your life, but you can still play PF2E. This is my favorite thing Pathfinder's done to date.
Wow.
I don't know why.
What a way to fucking end the episode.
I've been telling the same stories for 30 years. I've never told this story.
That's crazy.
And I'm happy with that.
Well, that's the best way to end the video. I think an incredibly poignant moment.
I buried the lead.
He buried the lead. Eric is fucking stoked for this book. You should be too. Go check
you wanted
it out.
a thumbnail, right?
There you go. We just paused for the thumbnail. Thanks so much, Goblins, for hanging out with us. We really appreciate your time.
Seriously.
Go check out the doobly-doo.
Especially the new guy who snuck into Patreon on the DL.
Yeah. You free
we saw
guys. You free guys. We get notifications.
Crawling
about you
under the floorboards and popping up.
Jump in.
Well done.
Jump in. So anyway, check out the Patreon. We're working on some new stuff.
What he said.
New ways to tell your stories.
Yep.
New ways to help you DMs run your games more efficiently so you have less homework.
And it's not didactic. I mean, we're learning this shit ourselves and trial and error. And this isn't us telling you how to play your game. We're just sharing the bullshit mistakes we made over the years.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us, Goblins. Yep. And as always,
keep your battles crying.